Good morning, I'm Chris Fox, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to build a targeted mailing list. So every author hears, if you go anywhere from K-boards to most of the books that are available, that one of the most important things that you can do is create a mailing list. And after the first two videos in the series, which taught you that you needed to be able to provide a list to Amazon, a list of targeted customers, and that you needed to be able to find those people, once you do find them, how do you get them onto a targeted list? How do you build that? So we're going to go over that a little bit today, and most of the rest of the video you're not going to see my face. It is a screencast, and we're going through MailChimp and a couple of lead pages that I've created. So you can see that it's not that difficult to get a new list set up and to start populating it with the members that you're after. And I do want to stress, I mentioned this in the next part of the video, but I mentioned it here just to kind of place emphasis on it. It's important to have targeted lists, and that means that you can have 4 or 5 or 6 lists for different reasons. You're going to see a few of mine in the video segment that follows this one, and a little bit of how I use them. So the video is short, but it is a hands-on demonstration, and hopefully we're kind of get the wheels turning in your head about the lists that you can be created. Everything from an ARC reader list to a street team list, to lists for your different series if you have multiple books. Putting them all on one main list means you're going to get the exact sort of hodgepodge that we're trying to avoid. You need to put your sci-fi readers on one list and your writer readers on another list, and if you do romance, that needs to be a third list. And I think that if you can do that, you're going to see an exponential growth in your success. So even though I have about 5,000 people on my lists, when I send out an email, that will never go to more than 2,000 people because I speak to different segments in different ways. That said, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the hands-on portion of the video. Okay, so we are looking at my MailChimp dashboard, specifically the list growth that I've seen over the last 12 months. And I wanted to start here because you can see, looking at this growth, that for a lot of months, I was just adding a handful of subscribers. A year after starting and publishing, I still hadn't broken 1,000 mailing list subscribers on my main lists. And then all of a sudden, you can see it just skyrocketing, and I'm just about to cross over 5,000 people. So what changed is what you're learning in this video and in the videos to follow. When we talk about effective reader magnets, you really can ramp up the number of people that you're adding to your lists. And it's important to realize that these are not one generic pool of people. I don't send out an email to 5,000 people. I, in fact, have quite a few lists. So we're looking at some of them here, not all of them. The eradication arc list and the void wraith arc list, these are going to go away once their purpose is served. So I'm constantly creating and removing lists as needed and just kind of shuffling people around. The bulk of the rest of the list, though, are more permanent. So if you look at fiction website signups, where you would be able to find that is if you come to chrisfoxwrites.com, you'll see that I have these graphics here. And if you click on the fiction mailing list, and it goes to my archaic lead page that I badly need to update, that's how you get onto that fiction website list. So this one right here. And I'm very careful with how I use the fiction website signups because it's not a pure list. The people that sign up could be into death lists, they could be into void wraith, or it could be a writer like yourself who just wants to see what my work is like. And so I will announce new books to that list, but I target it very differently than I would do, say, the void wraith trilogy list. Now this one you'll notice is a 4-star rating versus the 3-star on the fiction website signups, and that's because it is a more targeted list. Every single person on this list, all 1,850 of them, came from the front and back matter of one of the books in the Void Wraith trilogy. So someone liked one of those books enough that they signed up to this list. And that means that it's as close to my target audience as I can possibly get, and it's useful for a number of reasons. The most common one, and I think that this is the one that will resonate with most of you, is launching a new book. Whenever I come out with a new science fiction book, these are the people that are going to hear about it first because this is where I want my also bought to come from. So I use this list first, and then this one would come a few days afterwards once my also bots were sorted out. So that's why I have so many lists. And when creating your lists, I want to make sure that you don't think you're just going to have one generic list of people. You want to have a lot of different ones, and you don't want to be afraid to create a new list. So we're going to segue into doing that. I don't care if you use MailChimp or any other mail provider, but what you're going to want to do if you're going to use the information in these videos is start a new list and start populating it with a very targeted audience. And how I would suggest doing that is creating a page like this. Now, this can be done like the primitive one you just saw a minute ago, or it can be nice and clean like this one, which was created on Lead Pages. But you need a way for your readers to know that they can get free books from you. If you don't currently have free books, I would strongly consider writing some effective reader magnets, which we'll cover next week, and getting them out there in a way like this so that people can try out your stuff. Because all that work that you did last week in finding these communities is going to pay off when you are able to eventually show them this page. You're going to tell them once you're comfortable in those communities, hey, listen, I'm an author. I'm always looking for beta readers. And if you want to sign up, I'll give you some free books. People do enjoy that. You're asking very little of them. And if you create a brand new list, you can, in these communities, find people interested in joining it, which means you're going to get a very, very targeted list as a result. So next week, we're going to be covering effective reader magnets and sort of how to kind of use the carrot to get people on your list, and also how to approach making the post. But I wanted to show you sort of what your goal is.